Hi, I'm Breanna Karstens-Smith with Global News Edmonton. Welcome to COVID-19 in Alberta, a path forward. At the end of a historic year, we want to look back on how we got here and what happens next.
And Breanna, she had a very powerful message.
Gord Caroline, Melissa DeRosier is so incredibly strong. She wanted to speak to us in order to tell us about her little girl, 7-year-old Bella. This is also an important piece of infrastructure right here. This brown building is the Jubilee Plaza. That's where the provincial and regional municipality offices are. Actually, in 2016, I saw helicopters dumping water on that building in order to save it. So again, good news to not see any water out front of that. You can also see the mall as well as Superstore. We're going to zoom in and get closer to the hospital in just a second. But first, to get you there, this is the school district. You can see there is water all around as well. The houses both to the south and to the north of it appear to be damaged. These houses were not damaged in the 2016 fire, but it appears as though they have been hit hard by that flooding.
So it's right there, black and white, in the law.
And so we won't see more legislation in that similar vein and moving towards a more privatized.
Well, we are going to continue to do what we can to reduce surgical wait times, but whatever we do will be compliant with the Canada Health Act, which is very clear in terms of its parameters.
It does have some leeway, though.
Breanna Karstens-Smith has produced a 3-part series beginning tonight commemorating the anniversary. Breanna, we start by looking at the lives lost.
Right, because there were so many of them, as one family member put it so perfectly. This was a Canadian tragedy. All 176 people on board were killed. 138 of them had been bound for Canada. 55 were Canadian citizens and 30 of them permanent residents of Canada. 13 of the victims had ties to our city. For 7 short days, Arash Porzanabi and Pune Gorji lived in bliss. The couple, both computer engineers, had married in a big wedding in Tehran. On January 8, they were headed back to Edmonton to continue their studies and lives as husband and wife. Good evening, I'm Breanna Karstens-Smith. We are broadcasting live from downtown Fort McMurray this evening. The streets are finally dry after several days. You can see sandbags still remain, though, especially outside of critical infrastructure, like here outside the courthouse. All mandatory evacuation orders, except for one, have now been lifted in this area. Residents in Draper, just south of here, remain out of their homes. That community is right along the Clearwater River, so that water is still too high and too dangerous for those people to go home just yet. Water was high here in Fort McMurray, though, just a few days ago, and it has left behind an enormous cleanup for many. In fact, the Walmart, the Rona, the Canadian Tire are all still closed at this hour. Outside, there are abandoned vehicles, and inside, the cleanup process is beginning. Thousands of people are still without gas and power, too, at this hour. That as they try to sort through what can and also what can't be saved. Carl Barish's home is affectionately called Cloud 9, but this version of it is the opposite of heavenly.
The police actually came to the door and says, we need to make sure everybody leaves.
Returning for the first time in a week.
From here up is virtually undamaged, okay?
Downstairs is a far different story.
Come on in, guys.
The basement apartment where his son lives is destroyed, as is Barish's workspace.
And all our paper records for the past 15 years, they're all gone.
After living through the 2016 fire, Hurricane Irma, the massacre in Las Vegas, and an earthquake, this feels strangely normal.
I feel guilty because the only thing that's affected us is with stuff.
In yards all down this street, fridges, drywall, even new baby clothes, none of it can be saved.
It's really life-changing, man. Like, you know, you work so hard to get ahead, and we were ahead, but now we're back to ground zero.
Michelle Martin and others worry insurance will not cover this. Not a sandbag in sight. They say they weren't given enough time to prepare.
They told us, no, you got no worries, okay? Everything will be good.
But amid the debris and exhaustion, some treasures have survived.
That is me in uniform, okay? Probably about 20 or 21 years old.
Carl Barish's box of trinkets from his time in the military, a reminder that tough days don't last forever.
Nobody in my immediate family and friends have been hurt, have lost anything intimate in that sense. So it's just stuff, okay? So we'll get past it.
Good evening, I'm Breanna Karstens-Smith. We are broadcasting live tonight from the Waterways neighborhood in Lower Fort McMurray. This community was almost completely destroyed by those flames in 2016. And take a look, you can still see signs of that fire. Trees burned on the hillside, the scar the fire left behind. Now, the homes you see are mostly all rebuilds. They were put up in a sign of hope and perseverance and resilience. But this week, an ice jam on the river sent water rushing in and damaged these homes once again. Now, the people we've been speaking with today say they are nothing short of exhausted, and rightfully so. Fort McMurray has been through so much lately, especially this week. Let's give you a look back on exactly what's happened. And one man proved no virus, no distancing, no pandemic can get in the way of true love as he stood outside his wife's care center with a sign reading, "Love you, Bernie, I'm still here." A touching love story to end with, and it has been an emotional and exhausting 9 months. There is still a long road ahead, but together we can get through this. Thank you for watching and allowing us into your homes each and every night as we navigate through this pandemic. Here's to a better and brighter new year. Stay safe.